check in what feels tight, what feels loose, where do you want to feel a little bit more activation, where are you ready to let go. Cool. And then bring your knees to a tabletop position, arms all the way out to a nice T shape. And slowly start to lift this right leg all the way up and just bring it down to a 45-degree angle. Cool. From here, we're going to take a nice deep inhale and just reach the legs up. So it's almost like a high 45. And here, thinking about grounding both of your hips. I want you releasing your neck and your shoulders into the mat. And feeling how that breath can expand on your inhale sideways, and then you exhale it out. And that full range of motion with your legs gets a little bit longer each time. And feeling how you can not only breathe sideways, but also into the mat. Great, we've got another 3. Excellent, reach. For 2. And then your last one. Great. Slowly bring your knees back to your tabletop position. Put the right foot on the floor and then the left. And take a deep breath. Great. Let's reach the arms all the way up here. We're going to do a little bit of running with the arms. So the right arm's going to come down. Left arm behind. Right knee in towards the center. And then slowly bring everything back towards the middle. Straight away onto the other side. That means left knee up. Right knee behind. Left arm long. And then exhale back. So for now, I want you to keep both feet on the floor in your pause period. And that inhale, expansive reach. Exhale, weave the ribs together. As we slowly inhale, tap the fingertips, and then exhale, come back. Now, even as you shift your weight through this, start to feel how you're not really going anywhere, right? Like you notice that you're activating that right knee in, but you're still using your belly. And that you're shifting just ever so slightly on the floor as you bring both feet back to the center. One more time on each side. And then your last one here. Cool. Palms come forward. Let's bring both knees into a tabletop position, adjusting your bodysuit as necessary. Cool. And we're actually crossing your hands. So for now, I have my left hand on my right knee and then my right hand on top. Cool. From here, we're slowly lowering the right knee down a little bit by pushing the left hand into the knee, and then come on back. And then we switch. So you push your right hand into your left knee. Your right shoulder comes off just a bit, and then you melt back down. So it's almost like you're trying to keep the arms long as you push, and then exhale, bring the elbow back towards your hip. Inhale, push, and exhale back. Now, again, at this moment, there's no crazy big range of motion. We're trying to confuse and coordinate our brain for a moment of that right and left cross. I always find this very strange. It's like it's hard to almost notice where your hands and your knees are, for me. But then when you do focus, or you can either focus on the hand, or I try it and focus on the hand, I think it's easier to push. Okay, last time here. Get knees come in towards you, take a deep inhale. Slowly bring your toes down towards the floor, head, neck, and shoulders come all the way up, and then bring your knees up, extend your legs up to a 45-degree angle here. Great, hands come behind your head. And let's slowly tap far away, keeping the knee bent, and then exhale back. Now keeping this feeling of lengthening up for your hip socket. You don't want a straight leg yet, I just want you to keep the gentle bend in your knee as you exhale. And then you can melt the shoulders down. Good, one more time on each side like this. And then all the way. Good, let's add a nice little stretch. So you're gonna stretch the leg now, and as you come on back, you're giving it a bend. So just noticing that there's a change of feeling, that you're reaching out first, and then lowering it on the way back. You find that diagonal and then gently bend. Inhaling, expanding, accelerate. Now if you feel like you want to add an arm, you can add the opposite arm down by your side as you extend the leg out. You can also keep both hands down by your side if you feel like that feels great for today, and then come back. Remember, just deciding where you're at right now and doing what feels good for you for the next 2. Inhale, full reach, engage the belly, come back for 2. And then your last one on each side. If you really focus on the breath, you can actually see the change of shape in your belly in a nice way of noticing that your breath is truly getting its full range of motion. Great, hands down by your side, slowly lower down for me on 3, 2, and 1. Cool. Knees come into your tabletop position again, arms out to your T, and then slowly bring your hips, so yeah, let's just say that again. Let's bring your knees to the side, lifting your right hip up for a moment, and stretching your right leg all the way out. All right, from here, let's take a nice deep inhale, and we're slowly making circles. Now you're keeping that right shoulder down. Your right hip is slightly behind your left, but still thinking about, can I engage my right side body in order to make these circles? We're trying to find a little bit more length. The groundedness still happens through that left knee, that you're not coming off the floor with that left side. And you have another 3, 2, and 1. Super gently bend the knee, take a deep breath. And then find your way all the way back here for 3, 2, 1. Hands come on your knees, take an inhale. Exhale, head, neck, and shoulders come off of the mat. Great, right hand comes onto your right ankle, left hand on your right knee. Inhale, pull, pull, and then exhale, switch. And remember, this change of direction, the change of hands is happening as you switch your legs. And if you feel like your neck is tight, then support your head, neck, and shoulders and just focus on the legs, or bring your head, neck, and shoulders down. We have another 3. Exhale out. Inhale, 2. Exhale, reach. And then your last full one. And all the way out. Super, knees come in. And then melt your head, neck, and shoulders down on 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Arms come out again to your T shape. Slowly dropping those knees towards the right. And adjusting here first. And then reaching that left leg out and lifting it up just a bit. And noticing again, can you bring the left shoulder down towards the mat a little bit more? And making some small controlled circles. Now remember, this small controlled circles, meaning the right knee is grounded. We're not wobbling all over the place. You're only moving from a place that you can control at this given moment with your breath and with your belly. For the next 3. Still continually walking your fingertips longer for 2. And then that full range of motion for 1. Great, knees come back to the center. Slowly bring yourself back in towards the middle. Grab underneath your knees. Take a nice deep inhale. And then slowly bring your head, neck, and shoulders off of the mat, hands behind your head. Great, from here, let's do a nice long bicycle on the right, and then come back to the middle. Stretch up your leg, do a long bicycle on the left, and then come on back. So for now, really focus again on that full range of motion, and now even just the subtlest change of intention. Right here, we're going long and then bending on the way back from the below, or from below. Just kind of makes a different feeling here. Okay, we got 1 more on each side. And then all the way back. Excellent. Slowly put the soles of your feet on the floor. Take 1 step further away from you, digging your heels into the ground, reaching your arms all the way long in your inhale, and then exhale, peel yourself up on 3, 2, and 1. All right, so let's try a few things here. If anything feels weird for your neck, you let me know. You're bringing your hands nice and, let's start. 1 step behind you, fingertips forward, chest open, elbows back, and you're hinging just a little bit, okay? You're stretching. Actually, let's bring the left knee a little bit closer to you and reach that right leg all the way out. Now again, notice that we're not curling, we're not arching, we have that long spine here. Slowly and steadily engaging as you reach this left arm all the way here. You're tapping the right toes down, left arm comes up, and then we're stretching and kicking. So you're keeping this lift in the upper body, meaning the bend in the elbow stays planted. And you're just holding yourself in a position that you know that is active, but you can do this. We slowly kick and reach for the next 4, 3, And feeling again how that kick activates from the back of the heel for 2. Shoulder still stays open on the right for 1. Great. Left hand comes back. Slowly lift the left foot off the floor, reaching this right arm. And then we're kicking and reaching, and then slowly coming on back. And the range of motion with your right hand can be stopping at the parallel, or you can make it a little bit bigger. And these are the moments where, what feels good for me? Maybe you even feel like you want to open your arm to the side. We will do that soon, but if you feel like that's what you need now, please listen to yourselves as we reach for the next 3. Inhaling, reaching, and then expanding. Exhale back for 2. And noticing how the hip sockets are not overworked for 1. Great, hands come next to you. Take a nice deep breath, and then slowly stack on up, opening up your knees, bringing the insides of your feet together, and fold forward for me. Great, take a nice deep inhale, and then slowly stack on up. And 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let's bring the left foot underneath and the right one here. And you're holding on underneath your right knee, sitting up again, nice and tall. And you're slowly gonna open up here for me, bringing this right knee in towards the center. Now, if you feel like you need to adjust the placement of this bottom leg, please do so. Great. Stretching up this left arm. Right arm is all the way down by your side. And then hinging back to a point of, I can hold this. We're twisting over towards the outside of your knee and then reaching on back. So if at any point you feel like, I actually don't need to hold on to my leg so much, you may also put your arm to the side and just focus on that twist and reach. Now, just to be clear, we're not curling, right? I want you to keep that spine as long as you can so that you notice that you're almost just stretching out your shoulder blades. And you feel how the waist twists a little bit more. That right supporting arm might even get straighter each time. Great. 2 more for me. And then the last one. Super. Slowly take a nice deep inhale, reach both arms long, and then stack up your spine on 3, 2, and 1. Good. Take a nice inhale, and then just fold over for a moment, kind of grabbing onto your toes, allowing yourself to hang long in between your legs. Inhaling, let your head, neck, and shoulders relax, and then exhale, restack on 3, 2, and 1. Cool. So now the right leg comes underneath. Your left hand supports the left knee, and you lift it just a little bit, and this right arm comes up. Now from this position is where you adjust. Do I need to open? Do I need to close a little bit? And then hinge where possible. So remember, you're not sitting on your tailbone, you're sitting on your sits bones, right? So we have this nice stretch and reach. And then come on back. Now, as we continually twist, you sense again that space of your shoulders. Can you stretch out your arm a little bit more? Maybe you need to hold up a little bit higher or further away. Inhaling, twist, and keeping the abdominals engaged. Or maybe you even want to try that left hand reaching out and just doing your leg thing on its own. Cool. Let's do another 3. And feeling how the breath not only just opens you up, but actually really helps to fuel this move, right? So you inhale, we expand as we're opening, and then exhale, use all of that breath to come back to the middle for your last time here. And all the way up. Excellent, both arms nice and long, take an inhale, and then slowly stack on up on 3, 2, and 1. Good, open up your knees again. Grab onto your toes and just allow yourself to fold forward. Cool. Inhale here. And then exhale slowly and steadily coming on up on 3, 2, and 1. Great, let's come over onto your left side. We're gonna be somewhat comfortable, so either you can be here, or if you feel like you need to put your head, neck, and shoulders down all the way, by all means do that as well. Good, both toes are coming off the floor. Your knees are kissing here and your hips are all the way stacked. Your right hand is coming parallel to the floor, slightly behind your body. Cool. From here, you're opening up this top knee. And as you bring the right knee in towards you, you keep that reach. And now we reach behind us a little bit as the arm comes up by our ear. So when your knee comes in towards the middle, you're reaching behind you. And now you're bringing that toe tap in front. So think about a slight change of direction. So the knee comes in, and then your toes reach behind the lifted bottom foot. And if you feel like holding this lifted bottom foot is not comfortable or not where you're at today, you may always put it down and you can still do the same move, just reaching behind the toes. And then finding your way back to reach in front. Cool, 2 more. Now each time you move, I want you to sense where you're at, right? Like, what do you feel is happening within your body? Which body parts do you feel are working or being activated? Which body parts do you feel like, I could activate them, but maybe I'm choosing not to, or maybe I'm not even sure how to. But noticing again that all these different parts come together to help support you. Cool. And your last reach behind. And then reaching in front. Awesome. Finding your way all the way back to the center. Take a deep breath. All right, let's lift or extend the bottom leg for me. Then bring the top leg in a bent position and swing it just a little bit behind. So that doesn't mean that your hips are wobbling all over the place. It just means that your right knee is slightly behind your left, your hips are still stacked. Your hands are coming in towards the mat and seeing if we can lift this bottom leg off the floor. Cool. Slowly bending the bottom leg, bringing it towards the top leg, even if we're not touching. And then exhaling, reaching. Inhaling, bending. And then exhale it out. So it's almost like we're finding that isolation feeling within this left leg. And the right leg just gets to hang out for the moment, for the next 5. And sensing how that kick again is happening from the heel going up the calf, stretching out the back of the hamstring as well, for 4. But still noticing how this tie up, the right upper body, which is actually your side body, is still really active and holding you here. And the left side body just gets to hang out for a moment on the mat. Last 2. And your last one. Cool. Slowly finding your way back to the center for 3, 2, and 1. Cool. Inhaling, pushing into the mat, floating both feet off of the floor. And slowly and stretching the left leg in front, the right leg behind you. And then coming on back. So just making this range of motion a little bit bigger this time. And remember, you can always keep your knees bent. You don't have to stretch them out all the way. Okay, 4 more. And sensing how your legs continually get longer, even if your hips aren't going anywhere, right? Those hips can still stay quiet and the legs can extend all the way out from the hip socket without compressing the lower back and all the way back. Super reaching that right leg all the way out to a parallel position and then bringing it in front. And let's make some medium circles here. So they're not full range of motion. You notice that there's still space that can be grown, or rather that can be taken up. And if you can, bring that arm away from the mat and that feels comfortably active for you, please do so. And just again, feeling where you're holding yourself from in this moment, right? The leg is active, but you're still using that belly to support for the next 2. And 1. Reversing the circles for me for 5. And then take that long exhale out. And if you were to balance something on the top of your hip, ideally they wouldn't go anywhere, or it wouldn't go anywhere. As you make these circles, that's how controlled I want you to feel. Great, last 2. And your last full reach. Super, finding your way down to your center, take a deep breath. Feel free to punch out your bum or your glutes if they feel a little bit warm. Okay, and then let's come up to a nice tall seated position. So you're gonna cross your legs however is comfortable for you at the moment.
Great, bringing your elbows nice and close to your body, sitting up tall against your imaginary wall, reaching the arms all the way up. Great, let's slowly reach the arms up towards the top, and again, gazing down towards your legs, so you're giving your neck a nice little stretch. And then on the way back, bringing your elbows close, allowing your neck to float up just a little bit. So we're trying to get a little bit of movement here within the shoulders and the neck. Trying to open up the shoulder blades, but still moving at a slow enough and mindful enough pace that you'll notice if something is not supporting you. So we have that nice reach, and then regrounding, and exhaling out, and then inhaling, reaching for more. Awesome, last two. And then your last one here. Great, and then bringing your hands in a prayer position. Imagine that you have to push something up with your elbows. So you're pushing up with your elbows, and we're twisting towards the right. Coming on back, and then squeezing your elbows back to the center. So inhale, push up, twist to the left. Now in this position, we're still focusing on that straight back. So your neck just comes along with the rest of your body. And if your neck does not want to do that, you may always look forward and just kind of twist from the waist and keep your neck forward facing. That's also an option. Okay, one more time on each side. So we inhale, push on up. Focus on that right twist through the spine. And keeping that sensation of the shoulders parallel to the floor. And then all the way back. Cool. Give yourself a little wiggle. And then let's come over onto the right side. So elongating yourself along the mat. If you want to put your head all the way down, put your head all the way down. Otherwise, finding your nice comfy stacked position. And then bringing both knees off of the floor. And reaching your left arm all the way behind you. Good. Opening that top knee and then bringing it a little bit closer to your body. And then slowly reaching behind the bottom leg as your arm reaches up over. Now you may notice that you have to adjust the placement of the bottom leg. Sometimes your legs are longer than you think they are, or they're just in a different placement than you think, and that's totally fine. But once you've found that position, seeing if you can stay there. And remember, you may always put the bottom foot down if that feels better. And sensing what this range of motion within this left shoulder feels like. So for me personally at the moment, I feel like I have less range of motion in my left, or it just feels a little bit tighter. And that's okay. Sometimes we need more to stretch or a little bit more time to reach. We have a few more to go. Now the side series is often a time where people tend to zone out, which is totally fine, but if you have found yourself zoning out, then I invite you to just come back into your body and sense again where you're at. How does your leg feel? How does your shoulder feel? How does your neck feel? And can you notice anything else surprising or curious about your body that you didn't notice before? Great, let's do one more full round. So inhaling, reaching behind. Back, and then that full space of reach. Cool. Coming all the way back to the center, take a deep breath, and then lifting this top leg a little bit off and slowly stretching out the bottom leg. Cool. And then pushing into the mat as you lift the bottom leg off, and then bringing the left leg behind you to a position where you feel like, actually, I'm pretty stable. Maybe for you that's closer to your body. Maybe that's far away, but remember, we're not shifting the weight. So you're slowly bending the bottom leg and then kicking it out. Now I'm still using the support of my left hand here because it feels nice in the morning. But if you feel like you want to reach or bring your hand in another position to challenge yourself, you may always do that as well. Or you can kind of keep your hand on the floor but not ground completely, like almost just sense that the floor is there, but you're not actually touching it. It's kind of a nice little
challenge as well. For the next 4. And shoulder down as you inhale, kick. And noticing that that left top leg is still staying as balanced and quiet as it can. For the next 2. And your last one here. So we're slowly restacking, finding your way all the way back. Cool. Inhaling, pushing into the floor, lifting both legs up. And we're stretching as we run, and then coming on back. So the right bottom leg is going in the front, the top left leg is going behind you. And we're still keeping that sense of my left side body is very active right now. Shoulders melting down, and you can tap your toes in between if that feels good, or you can just keep them really parallel to one another. Not looking to micromanage this move, but I do want a sense of lengthening all the way out, and then engaging, knowing that you're bending and coming back into the middle for a moment for the next 2. And then your last one here. So knees come back down, take a deep breath, and then stretching that leg all the way parallel to the floor, and then a little bit in front of you. And now is where we make our medium-sized circles. Now the serious part, or rather the most important part here, is really that hip stabilization. So if you look and you notice that your hips are doing like all of these moves, it's too much. I want you to think about, really, it's almost like you can put your hand here, and you'll notice if your hand changes direction. If you feel like your hand is wobbling all over, make the circle smaller. Great. We have another 2 full inhale and exhales. And here's where we're also trying to keep the focus on the leg and the belly and just release the shoulders down, right? Like if you notice you're super tense, just open up if you can. And your last one. Great. Take a nice inhale, and let's reverse the circles. So figuring out here what this shape is going to look like for you for the next 3 full breaths. Noticing that maybe your leg is starting to get warm, and if that feels okay, then great. If you need to bend your knee because your hip feels tight, bend it. Last 2. And the last one. Awesome. Slowly come back down to the center. Again, punch out your glutes and your bone if you need to. Thank you, legs. And then push yourself all the way up. Again, crossing however feels comfortable. Stretchy, stretchy. Alrighty, so arms are at a T position this time. And we're slowly gonna bring the palms forward facing. So let's squeeze the hands together and then slowly lower down for a moment. And then exhale, reach on up. Cool. Inhale, slowly lower down, gazing. And exhale, engage the belly reach. And remember, pushing into your hands to open the elbows up towards the side as you reach. And the range of motion of the neck can be minimal, it can be bigger. You can make it small, you can keep it forward facing. Great, 2 more. And then your last one here. Awesome, finding your way back to the center. Okay, let's do left foot in front, right foot behind. Leaning into the left hand, right hip comes up for a moment. And again, this reach all the way here. I'm really loving this move right now, so we're kind of gonna do it again. So we're coming underneath to reach, and then slowly unfolding, looking up. Now there's nothing happening in the lower half. We're really focusing on that full twist underneath, and then engaging the belly to reach. Good. 3 more. Reaching for 2, and still feeling how you can push into the hand on the mat on the left
in order to get that grounding as you reach for one. Alrighty, so hands are coming back down. We're bringing actually both knees on top of each other and we're twisting down for me here. Open up your chest, lift your hips off of the floor. So you're kind of in a lifted position. If you feel like, nope, this is not where I want to be, then bring your hips back down. Cool. Inhaling, slowly bending your elbows back. And then exhale up. So the knees at the moment are just hanging out, stacked on top of each other. Elbows come back towards you and then exhale, reach. 3 more. Remember, just a small range of motion here for 2. And your last one. Super, hips come down, take a deep breath. And then swing on over to the other side. So trying not to overwork the leg at this moment, so it's really more of just like a stacking, reaching, and noticing again that we're not so cozy, but we're reached enough. Left arm coming all the way up. And then we inhale underneath. And then exhale, reach. And feeling what feels okay. Moving slow enough to notice that. And 3 more. And pushing a little bit more into the fingertips so that you're like evenly distributing that weight between your whole hand. And then your last bit here. Super. So bringing your hands next to each other and then lifting your hips up, keeping those knees stacked, elbows come back. And we inhale, elbows come back, and then exhale, engage the belly up for 6. Now, wherever you're at here, I don't want this like crazy push up. That's not the point. The point is to notice if your hands feel evenly balanced, can you keep the elbows back? Can you keep the twist in your belly and the shoulders down as your knees stay stacked, right? There's a lot of touch points. Last one here. Cool. Finding your way all the way back and then taking a nice deep breath. Rolling onto your back again for me, bringing your hands underneath your knees and then just slowly melting down. 3, 2, and 1. Great. Inhaling here, knees come into a tabletop, and then either choosing to keep your head, neck, and shoulders down or bringing your head, neck, and shoulders up for me on 3, 2, and 1. Hands come behind your head for a moment. Right foot goes on top of your left. Great. We're slowly stretching out both legs for me here and then lowering this left leg down. Bringing it all the way back up and then opening your knees. So we inhale, stretch and lower. And then exhale, close and return. Now in this move, I want you to think about constantly moving. So sometimes I like it when there's like a little bit of a pause. But for this, I really want you to notice as soon as you're finished reaching, the leg goes down. And as soon as you touch, you come right back up. We have another 3. So noticing that there can be a sense of flow even if there are 4 separate moves for 3. Reaching for 2. And then your last one. Cool. Slowly come back to the center. Changing the legs. And let's try it again. So inhaling, reaching and lowering. And then exhaling up and back. Now your range of motion also can be smaller, meaning if you cannot, or you feel like your back is coming off the floor or it hurts in any way, shape or form, you may always bring the leg just down a little bit. Doesn't have to touch the floor for the next 5. And if you feel like you want to give your arms a nice little reach, by all means hold them next to you for 4. Just listening to yourself right now for 2. And then releasing everything for 1. Super. Back to the center. Take a nice inhale. And then melt your head, neck, and shoulders down on 3, 2, and 1. Great. Feet are coming underneath your knees. We're coming into a bridge position. So making sure that everything is aligned. Your feet shouldn't be too far away from you. Palms in the floor. Opening up your chest and then melting into the mat first. Before you peel your spine 1 vertebrae at a time all the way up.
Great, let's do a nice little reach of the arms here if that feels comfortable for you, and then palms forward facing for me. So we're inhaling, making a nice big circle with the arms for 5. So focusing first on the arms and 4, and keeping the hips lifted and the breath moving for 3. And then exhaling out for 2. And that last one for 1. Cool. And then ending all the way at the top. Take a nice deep inhale. And let's slowly drop the bum down or tap the hips. And on the way back up, you circle your arms around and reach. So you keep the arms lifted as you bring your hips down. And on the exhale up, you circle around. So your hips are going to be up faster than your arms are circling. That's totally fine. I want you to still focus on the lifting up, and then you can start circling, but you don't have to time it exactly. Great. Inhaling, dip, and exhale, circle. 2 more. And then your last reach here. Awesome. Take a nice deep inhale. And then slowly melt your spine down 1 vertebrae at a time. On 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, head, neck, and shoulders come off of the mat. Knees come in towards you. Great. Let's slowly bring your hands behind your head, keeping your right knee where it is. You're twisting towards the right as you tap your left toes underneath, and then come on back. Over to the other side. Your left knee stays put. You twist to the left, bringing your right knee a little bit underneath, and then exhale back. So it's almost like you're twisting and reaching towards that same direction, and then finding your way back to the middle. And there's just a little bit of a twist of the belly, but the hips aren't lifting, and that reach feels like you're moving within your range of motion, not beyond. And then noticing how maybe your toes get a little bit lengthened, or find a way to almost reach the edge of your mat. Maybe not. And appreciating the September light, because it is so pretty. I do love you, September. Great, 1 more time on each side. Super. Soles of your feet come down, reaching your arms next to you, and then melt your spine down again on 3, 2, 1. Soles of your feet come a little bit closer towards you, and then melt your spine into the mat first. Before you inhale again, and then exhale, peel yourself all the way up. And 3, 2, and 1. Great. Hands stay grounded at the moment. We're bringing this right knee in towards the center, keeping your left leg where it is. I want you to open your right knee a little bit, and then exhale, squeeze it closed. So if you feel like that you need to support your hips in this, by all means do it. Because actually, you're trying to open up the right knee without dropping the hip. So if that feels a little bit challenging, either make the range of motion smaller, or you can always support yourself for the next 3. Holding and stabilizing through that left leg for 2. And the last one for 1. Right foot comes down, take a nice deep inhale. And then exhale, ground through the right foot as the left knee comes in. Remember, holding yourself if you need to. We're trying to use that right stabilization leg, but opening up through the left without shifting anything. And if you feel like you don't need your hands, by all means, you can always reach your hands up. But I personally find in this exercise to keep your hands down on the floor is quite helpful. So we don't injure ourselves and we can stay present for the next 3. Opening for 2. And your last one. Slowly put the left foot down, take a nice inhale, and then melt your spine down for me on 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, arms up by your ears, and then exhale, head, neck, and shoulders peel. Cool. 1 hand on top of each other behind your head. All right, so this time we're going in a different direction. So let me rephrase that. So the leg that we're twisting to is now coming underneath and then back. So we're just changing up the leg that's moving. So we're still twisting towards the leg that's moving now. And then exhale back. Inhaling, twisting right underneath the left. And then exhale back. Just to give our space and feeling a little bit of a sense of newness. Great. And that full inhale, elbows open, and then return. If you feel like you want to bring your left hand into the mix as you twist to the right, you absolutely may. You can bring your right hand reaching towards your left if you'd like as you come on back. One more time on each side. And using this to be as much of a moving meditation as you need it to be at this given moment. Super slowly bring your right foot down and then your left. Take a nice inhale. And then slowly stretch out your right leg and then your left and melt yourself down on 3, 2, 1. Arms come up by your ears. And then exhale, peel your head, neck, and shoulders off of the mat. Coming to a nice tall seated position. All right, let's do a little bit more with our spines here. So, keeping your legs straight if you can. If you feel like you need to bend them, bend them. Remember, the goal is to be against our imaginary wall. So you're flexing out your feet, your arms are nice and long, parallel to the floor. You're inhaling, sitting up nice and tall. And then you're exhaling, curling back, but not really going far, reaching your arms forward. And then on the way back, bring your palms up, elbows come behind and reach. So inhaling, palms down, curling back, arms are parallel, flexing still. And then find your way all the way back on your inhale. Great. Reaching. And then we can inhale here. I know we changed up the breath pattern, but it felt better. Exhale it out. Inhale, replenish. All right, let's add a point of the toes. So as we reach, we point. And as we come back, we flex. So sometimes it's just about adding another layer. And if that layer doesn't feel like it's your layer, then you just leave it out. But noticing that full spinal articulation. And then the weaving of the hands back, opening up. Last time here. Great, let's inhale, open, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. So we're coming over onto our bellies. So let's be mindful of the necks, everybody, and checking out what's happening. Alrighty, so hands are being stacked on top of each other. Your forehead is going onto your hands. Your legs are extended all the way out from your hips, so they're not out at the edge of the mat, but rather straight and parallel to one another. Take a nice deep inhale here, expanding your rib cage. Exhale, lift up your belly button and just float your head, neck, and shoulders off of the mat. Cool. Inhale, prepare, and then exhale, slowly lower down. So you're keeping your head glued to your hands and your hands glued to your head. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, lift the belly button up towards the spine as you reach. Good. Inhale, and then slowly melt down. Last time here. Inhale, and then exhale, slowly lift. Inhale again, and then exhale, melt down. Great. Inhale, prepare for me. And let's exhale, slowly lift again. Let's lift that right leg off the floor. So we're bending the right knee as we reach behind, and then coming on back. Keeping the right leg lifted, hands go returned underneath your nose or underneath your forehead. So if you feel like I actually need to keep my head, neck, and shoulders down, then you may absolutely do that. And you can just focus on the leg lift. But from this lifted position, I want you to sense the upper back. I want you to sense how your glutes are lifted, how your belly is engaged, and we're still reaching and returning. Okay, 2 more. And your last one here. Super slowly come down for 3, 2, and 1. Give yourself a little bit of a wiggle. Awesome. Put your hands underneath. Take a nice inhale.
And then just slowly and steadily push yourself all the way up, coming into a nice four-legged position. Yes, we do have 4 legs. Cool. So we're still working on this right leg. Bringing the right, let's start again. Tuck the left toes, bring the right foot on top of the left ankle. Opening up your chest, you're slowly opening this right knee to the side, and then coming on back. Now, it's similar but different to what we did before when we were in that bridge position. So you're focusing on lifting that leg up, but you're not going anywhere. So you're not necessarily twisting through your waist, you're not twisting through your hips. We're simply focusing on that lift to the diagonal and then finding your way back. We got 3 more. Gazing down at the floor or a little bit further away for 3. And noticing how your elbows can rotate back, trying to gaze and kind of aim towards your hips for 2. And 1. Great, stretching that right leg all the way out. Let's make little mini pulses. And if you feel like you can, bring your left arm behind you and just focus on stabilizing through one arm. If not, put both arms back down for the next 5, 4. Keep breathing and pushing through that right hand for 3, 2, and 1. Super, all the way back down. Shift your weight all the way back. Take a nice deep inhale. And then slowly find your way all the way back down to the floor. However you choose. Okay, so returning your hands underneath your forehead. Bringing your legs parallel, inhaling, prepare. And then exhale, head, neck, and shoulders float up. We lift the left leg off the floor and we reach behind as we bend. And then exhale back. Now remember, we're trying to keep the lift of the upper body. If that doesn't feel supportive, then please put the upper body back down. We're not looking up at the ceiling. I'm not trying to have you tweak your neck. I want you to just sense that you can float and reach as you extend the fingertips behind and still keep that left leg hovering enough off the floor for the next 3. And not forgetting about that extensive breath sideways as you extend your leg out. You lift the belly up, reaching and releasing all that air for 2. And your last one. Excellent, everything comes back down. Put your hands next to you, take another inhale, or rather underneath you, and then push yourself up into all 4s. All right, so your right toes are tucked. Your left foot rests on your right ankle. You open up your chest, gently bend your elbows, and we open. So even on this side, right, your spine is long, meaning we're not trying to curl, right? I don't want you to do like curly moves, not now. I really want you to focus on that full length from the top and the crown of your head, down your neck, down your spine, out through your tailbone. You can feel how like the deepest layers of muscle on the inside are working, right? It's not even like that top layer of belly muscle that's working. It's like those inside huggy, supportive muscles for the next 3. Keeping that space between your shoulders and your ears nice and wide for 2. And 1. Great, stretching out this left leg and then making mini pulses. And if you feel like, hey, let me just give this a try, you can reach your arm behind you and just focus on stabilizing through your left arm for the next 4, 3. Still keeping the leg and still keeping the quiet for 2 and 1. Super, all the way back to the center, take a deep breath and wiggle. Cool, let's find our way all the way up into a nice lifted position. Oh God, time is flying when you're having fun. All right, everyone, so let's come into a nice, a position where your knees are bent, your chest is open, and we're gonna hinge back again for me, and then hover your knees, let me rephrase that, hover your feet a little bit off the floor. All right, let's see if we can focus on a little bit of stability. So this right arm comes nice and long. Remember, you can always put your feet back down on the floor if you need to. Slowly stretching the right leg as we twist towards the right. And then exhale back. So you're holding your left side and you're allowing the right side to work. Now, also, if you feel like your back is starting to speak to you, please come up a little bit higher. If you feel like, actually, I just want to tap my toe down instead because that feels more supportive, you can do that too. So I do want some sort of a change of shape in the right leg, but you still can choose what that looks like for you. But let's add another little layer of the arm. So we're gonna inhale, tap and twist, and then exhale, bend. So you're just adding a little bit more to the sense of hold and movement. Good, 3 more. And noticing how quiet you can still be, even if there is a sense of openness. And your last one. Super, hands come back underneath. Both feet on the floor, open up your knees for me, please. Allow your hips to release as you fold forward. Wiggling out any weirdness. And then slowly restacking on 3, 2, 1. Knees come back together, sit up tall, hands underneath your knees. And then you slowly hinge back a little bit and float your feet. And again, you can always adjust, right? You can come up higher, you can go back lower. Cool, this time your right hand stays where it is, your left hand comes here, right elbow stays down. We're inhaling, twisting towards that back left corner as you stretch up the left, and then exhale slowly back. Now my goal here for you is to still have a sense of slow consistency. And if you feel like that's challenging to achieve right now, then ask yourself why. Remember, this is not a performance, it's just about you and your body and doing good things for yourself to strengthen and release. So do what needs to be done in order to support yourself. Maybe you put your foot down, maybe you make your range of motion smaller, or maybe you make it even bigger. Good. One more time, just like this. Cool, let's add that next layer of arms. So you're circling around on your inhale. And on the way back, you bend the elbow behind you. Now remember, this running feeling of the left arm can also just be like, no, I'm just gonna do a little bend, right? It's always about choosing for yourself. And noticing here for the next 2 that it's not just your hip sockets that are holding you, that it's still really your lower core and your last reach. And all the way back. Excellent, both feet on the floor, open up your knees. Allow yourself to fold forward. Take a moment of breath here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Super slowly and steadily find your way all the way back. We got one more thing to do. Take a nice inhale and curl yourself down for me. Great, bringing your hands behind your head, elbows nice and wide. Great, right leg up, left leg long, stretching your arms down by your side. And then switching. Inhaling, reaching. Exhale, switch. Good, 3 more. Remember, you can always support your neck if you need to. Inhale, reach. Exhale, switch for 2. And your last one. Cool, hands underneath your knees. Take an inhale. And then slowly rock yourself up. Open up your chest, hinge back a bit, and stretch up your legs, both legs together for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Super, hands underneath you. And then shift your weight all the way forward as you heel toe yourself to the outer edge of your mat, walking gently towards the right, stretching out that side body a little bit, and then gently walking to the left. And inhaling yourself back into the center. Exhale, let it go. And here is where we say yes to everything that fits our vision of what we'd like our life to be. And we actively say no to everything else. And we take another deep inhale. And then exhale, slowly step on up on 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Cool. Last little breaths.